Hi everyone, it's me, Sailor Minimoon, Reenie here, and today, has anyone gotten the word saying that you gotta set up a two half stronghold to keep working with Studio, or I guess you would say Workstead? Well, if the answer is yes, now, even though YouTube sends this out to everyone, not everyone is a mate. Now, some folks who are mates have to go through and set up the two break or two half stronghold. And that is a way to keep their reckonings strongholded because they're handling gold. They got a Google AdSense. They're making some kind of gold, from the boosterings and showings that they choose to put on their films. And YouTube feels that these folks, or Google feels that these folks need to have a more stronghold on their reckonings to keep their reckonings from being taken over, hacked, shifted around, income stolen, boosterings and showings put on films that don't follow the boostering oversight or the, or the Google AdSense oversight or whatever, or the YouTube followership oversight. But if you're a non-mate and you're not making any gold and you have no boosterings or showings on your films, and it was put there by Google and YouTube themselves, then you don't have to do it. Because that would be dumb. First off, someone might say, well, what if Google and YouTube are putting boosterings and showings on my films, and I'm not a YouTube mate, I'm not making any gold from it, I don't have a Google AdSense. Well, then you don't have to do that then, since you're not a YouTube mate. My understanding is anyone who gets their films monetized, French borrowed word, gets their fairway and their films set up for being a YouTube mate and putting boosterings and showings on their films and has a Google AdSense and is making income, then they would be the ones that would have to go through and set up that two-step strongholding, which would keep them well from having their YouTube, their Google, whatever stuff, all their Google stuff being fucked with. Now, a lot of folks might say that YouTube doesn't know the unlikeness between who is a mate and who's not. I believe YouTube knows who's a mate and who's not. I'm sure they know who's a mate and who's not. And I'm not a mate. I never been a mate, never will be a mate. I never had a Google AdSense. I never made any income off of my films, never had any boosterings or showings on my films. The only ones that were steaded there by Google themselves through YouTube. Alright? That was not my doing. So if you're seeing any boosterings or showings on my films, that's all Google, that's all YouTube, that's not me. I'm not a mate. I don't make any gold or income from any of that. That's all on Google and YouTube. So I'm not going to be setting up that two-step stronghold since I'm not a YouTube mate. Alright? And it's only for YouTube folks who are mates, who are making income from Google, through YouTube, who got a Google AdSense or have a Google AdWords, who are actually making income from Google and are actually putting boosterings and showings on their films themselves. So I know there's some folks out there, so I just want to make that film because I got that word earlier. Well, I got the word last night and started going, oh shit, I have to put two-step stronghold on my on my Google reckonings, or I'm gonna lose the right to go to my Google workstead, my YouTube workstead. Um, you know, and the only thing I did shift was what speaker track, or what far speaker track. That's the only thing I updated. And even if you did go through it, Google may give you so many long, tracks to put in that it won't let you put the full track in. So if you're a YouTube mate, then I guess good luck with fighting the Google layout setup upmake to get that last track in, so you can set up your two-step stronghold. But since I'm not a YouTube mate, and since I don't have and since I'm not in a YouTube mateship layout or setup or upmake, and since I don't really make no gal, have no boost rings or showings, have no Google AdSense or anything like that, then I'm not going to do it. You know. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know. If you want to know more about that, go watch the film that YouTube made about it and their crafter's workstead. So go watch that film. It's at the end of the film, so you might have to you have to go to the end of the film, but they talk about that. But anyway, I'm still gonna be here making films for the rest of my life. Alright, so if you like that film, then follow me here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the last film I made over here. I'm Sailor Moon Reedy, and I hope you like this film. Bye.